harnessing technology has been, I think, clearly one of the key prerogatives as well as priorities of the judiciary. And we're seeing clearly some benefits. I think Navneet mentioned it very briefly. The footfall in the courts have reduced, especially given the fact that there was a pandemic and there were social distancing related requirements. This clearly helped. So having video conferencing facilities in courts tremendously helped. But I think the other part of having this technology available was, I think there was a disparity also that was noticed in the way courts function. Because some courts were apparently more modern and had embraced some level of technology, and therefore they were able to quickly transition or seamlessly transition to having these sort of hearings without too many glitches, without there being any problems when it comes to adducing of evidence or examining witnesses. And that has been, I think, a clear positive. From the perspective of, I think, a litigant, clearly, wherever, I'm an in-house counsel, and one of the things that I'm often challenged by is time, because I need to be everywhere at the same time. And having virtual hearings has helped tremendously because, as pointed out by Navneet, it has reduced travel time, so I can attend virtual hearings from the comfort of my home office or from the comfort of just my office alone. It gives me a greater level of connectedness to the cases that I'm overseeing as an in-house counsel. It helps me understand whether the strategy I've discussed with my outside counsel has been properly implemented in court. A lot of times we're not able to, send our juniors to court to monitor the proceedings that are happening in the court because more and more in-house teams are becoming agile, nimble. We work with a smaller headcount. With a limited footprint in the company, we are expected to do a lot more than we used to. So therefore, these virtual hearings have been, to some extent, a boon. But that said, from I think the judiciary's perspective, I feel one of the biggest challenges clearly has been the way the requirements itself have been a little skewed in terms of the caseload or the workload. Because during the pandemic, one of the clear things that emerged was that there were some areas within the judiciary that experienced a very heavy caseload, especially in criminal cases, where there were requests for additional remand hearings, bail hearings, because clearly the prisons wanted to see whether they could have people let out on bail. There were also more hearings, especially on family court-related matters or family law-related issues that seemed to take the center stage as well. And at the same time, from a caseload perspective, I think what reduced was a lot of the commercial activities and also the normal mergers and acquisitions and those sort of transactions typically which would come up very often. Those reduced significantly. So there was a skewed workload also that courts observed during this period. I think the other important aspect also is the fact that the courts itself, I think, realizing that there is a dire need to have a better and a more efficient system, has been looking at other technologies, emerging technologies like blockchain. They've been looking at speech-related translation sort of tools and technologies. All of this clearly has led to, I think, a huge opportunity for tech companies to start making inroads into the judiciary, right? I think one of the most laudable efforts or initiatives of the Supreme Court was, approving the e-court, portal or app, which in turn has led to, almost 58 million litigants signing up on it, right? And that's a fantastic number. That speaks volumes of how now justice is now more accessible, affordable, transparent, and clearly it also signifies that, that the digital divide which you spoke of very briefly, Dr. Gupta, that is fast diminishing, right? So it's very, I think it's, there are some very interesting trends which are unfolding as a result of technologies, slowly making a larger space for itself within the judiciary. I think it's fantastic that the Supreme Court has even identified that AI and ML, just understanding that it's a force multiplier. It can have, there are innumerable possibilities that you can explore with it. setting up a separate committee to just explore what is possible with that technology itself is a very laudable measure on the part of the Supreme Court.